Ukraine's political unrest has taken a violent turn for the worse, with 25 people dying in clashes overnight. James Marson has the latest from Kiev. And James, is there any update on that casualties figure?
Well, that figure you gave, 25 dead, is what the health ministry is going with for now, although I suspect it will rise. It's saying 241 people have been hospitalized with injuries, hundreds more have been injured. I was in St. Michael's Cathedral, not far from the front lines last night. There was gunfire near where I was. I saw 3 corpses being brought in on stretchers and dozens more people lying around inside the cathedral, with some with very nasty looking injuries.
Why has the violence in Kiev re-emerged with such seeming intensity in the last day or so?
Well, for a few weeks both sides have been seemingly trying to de-escalate the situation, but I think the protesters realized that President Yanukovych was only prepared to compromise to a certain extent, and he wasn't prepared to give up any of his very large powers over the country. And when they realized this, they decided to go to Parliament, to stand outside Parliament to protest. And then clashes with police started, and it escalated from there into gunshots, into deaths, and there are some police officers killed. So both sides are very, very angry, and it's actually difficult to see how either side can step back from the violence now.
Do you think President Yanukovych can survive now? I mean, what's he saying about the latest situation?
Well, he's sticking to his line that the protesters are radicals, and that the opposition is using the protest in order to try to get into power for itself. That is not at all what I'm seeing on the ground. I'm seeing normal people, from businessmen to students to old grandmothers, fighting for what they say is against a corrupt regime. And can Yanukovych survive? It's very difficult to say. There are many people very, very angry with him. He still has the loyalty of the security forces, but the western part of the country, which is a little closer to Europe, and people are very, very angry there, and there's a sense that they may rise up even more strongly against him now.
And what of the role here of former boxing champion Vitaly Klitschko? Is he emerging as some kind of opposition leader de facto somehow?
Right, well, he's one of the 3 main opposition leaders, but to be honest, the protest from the beginning has not been about one opposition leader or getting one other leader into power. The protest has been about stopping the police brutality, stopping corruption. So it's not about pushing Klitschko into power, it's more about getting Yanukovych and his regime out of power.
I see. And what is also about the oligarchs that we often hear wield a lot of influence behind the scenes in Ukrainian politics? What's been their reaction to this latest escalation, really, in the violence in Kiev?
Well, last night there were 2 of the oligarchs. The richest one, Rinat Akhmetov, who's always been a supporter of President Yanukovych, released a statement calling for peace and end to violence. And Viktor Pinchuk, who's another powerful oligarch, also released a statement calling for an end to violence. Now, these are public statements. What they're saying private, we can only guess at. But even if they're calling for peace at this stage, it's not clear that that's working.
James, thank you very much for that update on what's becoming a very worrying situation.